It's a MeatEater podcast.
Welcome to MeatEater Trivia, the only game show where conservation always wins. I'm your host, Spencer Neuharth, and today we're joined by Janis, Randall, Brody, Collin, Nate, Tressa, and Cade McParland. Cade, tell folks what you do here at MeatEater.
I'm a retail store associate in the downtown location, and then when I'm not working in Bozeman, I'm a fishing guide in Alaska and a hunting guide here in Montana.
Oh, so when does that season kick off for you?
Right now, where I'm guiding at in Alaska, we don't get started until the end of June, just because it's way up from the ocean. All the fish are still kicking their way up. So I start driving up there about the end of, June 20th, something like that. Get up there for my first round of clients July 6th.
And I understand it's someone's birthday today. Happy birthday, Cade.
Happy birthday to you.
How old are you, Cade?
23. I hate
23.
to show my age, but hopefully, I think I'm at a little bit of a disadvantage.
Gives you an
So I'm the youngest
excuse.
in the room.
If you don't do well, be like, I'm 23 years old.
Yeah,
That's
just
you
write it
guys.
off.
I'm half the age of that guy that just won.
Now, this is a 10-round quiz show with questions from MeatEater's 4 verticals, which are hunting, fishing, conservation, and cooking, and there is a prize. MeatEater will donate $500 to the conservation organization of the winner's choosing. And for the stat of the week this week, we're looking at the continuation of the overtime drought that we're currently in. We haven't had a game go to overtime since December 4, meaning we're on a 15-week overtime drought. The world was very different 15 weeks ago. You think you boys got it in you today for an overtime game?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I think we could rig it just to have them.
Yeah, I was going to say, we can arrange that.
15 weeks. I'm going to have to fact
Just
check.
like an infrequently asked question. Just
Drop it in
in.
there strategically.
I'm going to have to re-fact check these overtime questions. They were written so long ago. Who knows what's changed? All right, here's our infrequently asked questions segment. If you have a trivia-related question for our crew, send it to trivia@themeateater.com with the subject line IFAQ. Landon Tucker says, does the crew listen to episodes they're not on? Does Spencer listen back to episodes that he is on? What about Phil?
No, that's a good question.
Well, Phil has to listen to them, right?
Yeah, too many times.
Yeah, that's right.
No one's more familiar than Phil.
Yep.
I don't know if I count as the crew,
Sure, yeah, Nate.
but I'm 2 behind Randall in the championship right now.
Wow.
And
Okay.
I'm quite perturbed.
That means you're tied with Steve going into
I'm-
episode 3.
I'm 1 ahead of Steve.
one ahead of Steve.
Steve was-
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Steve was 3 back. And I know it's not the same, blah, blah, blah. But, dude, I'm hot on it right
Nate
now.
is fixing,
I can't wait for tomorrow.
Fixing to be the King Jabroni this summer when we have the Jabroni tournament. Yanni, do you listen to episodes you're not here for?
Not usually.
Okay.
Nate, I'm surprised you didn't score yourself. Instead of scoring yourself 3 or 2 behind me, how many ahead of Seth are you? Oh, dude. Seth, I'll be honest. I think there's some chicanery going on with Seth being in and me not being in, but I'll rest
You
my
can
case.
start keeping the stats, Nate. And,
I do want to meet your
see how it
stats
goes.
guy.
I wish if there was like a little filter on Apple Podcasts where I could just filter Yanni episodes or not, then I would probably listen to it.
Okay.
But to go in and like figure it out, I'm like, yeah.
You mean you listen to your own or not listen to your own?
No, I would not listen to the ones I was
Gotcha.
in.
We're like
They're fun to
100.
play.
We're like 160 episodes in. I've probably listened to 120 of them. It's like
wow.
watching game film. I want to.
Oh, God.
Hey!
Sorry, guys. People watching video can see that I'm doing some live troubleshooting here. I've just wrapped it up. I'm sorry about that.
What was that noise?
That endless void. It was just a feedback loop
Yeah.
from the,
Oh, it's
from
kind
the
of
room.
fun, Phil.
We're good now. Everything's good.
I listen back to the episodes to prevent things like that. It's like watching game film. I want to do a really good job for you guys. So I want to know how it sounds.
Go ahead.
No, Nate, you're first.
Speaking of stats, while I was in Germany, not employed at this company, I sent you an email about keeping stats.
Oh, you did?
Yes, you can find it.
Wow.
You shouldn't look
I
it up,
will
though,
find
because
that.
it was a terrible attempt.
I'm going to go find that email, Nate.
Thirsty.
You got Yanni.
What's the sort of biggest piece of like personal feedback that you've taken from listening to 120 episodes that you've changed about the way you present the show?
I don't know that it's like one big thing. It's just like hearing what a good question is, hearing when to like ramp up the banter if we're taking too much time to answer, not enough time. I think things like that, just finding filler for the show.
So when you cut Randall's Happy Birthday song off, that was like
that was
The Happy
based on
Birthday
100
songs never go well when you
120
listen back to them.
episodes of data. We shouldn't have a full Happy Birthday.
I would have
song
let it go.
from
Randall sounded good.
Yeah, the first part of the song's easy. It's when you get to you climb up to that higher pitch. That's where I fall apart.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wish you were in the room when Randall's doing his movie reviews because they go on a real long time.
No, those are meant to go.
That's part of the bit.
See, I didn't know that there was like a different part in that song where
Happy
it goes.
birth, you know.
All right, we can clear out Randall if you'd like to do the whole thing.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I'd have to start from the beginning.
It's in the public domain now, so
Yeah.
you can go on for as long as you want.
We have some housekeeping to get to. During the MeatEater tournament, we had a question about taxonomic ranking. This inspired a few listeners to write in with phrases they've memorized so that they always remember the hierarchy of life, domain, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. Sean Richardson wrote in, and this is a classic mnemonic. King Philip came over for green soup. Lainey Miller had a similar rhyme to Sean. King Philip came over for good spaghetti. Logan Fusen, this one is morbid. Kids playing cards on freeway get smashed. And then we had Mike Black. This one's really unique. Don't kick people's crotches, otherwise fights get started. And then we had Alex Frost. He said he learned this from a teaching assistant in college. Dear Karen, please come over for ganja smoke. And then Emily Waller making a similar request as Alex. Dear Kevin, please come over for great sex. So you've got a lot of ways there that you can always remember the taxonomic rankings.
Like the kids on the freeway. I'll remember that.
People are never going to forget it again, especially thanks to Alex and Emily. All right, the Shelby Index for today is a 4, so our winner should get 8 correct answers. And with that, we're on to the game of trivia. Play the drop, Phil.
Look, I need to know what I stand to win.
Everything.
How's that?
You stand to win everything.
Game on, suckers!
Question 1, the topic is hunting. This will be multiple choice, and this first great question is via Randy Hodge. What
Good
does
guy.
the federal tax stamp cost when applying for a suppressor? Is it $100, $200, $300, or $400?
How do you know this?
This question weeds out those of us who have paid for our own suppressors.
Yanni.
Or people who are looking to get one.
Yanni
Or
owns a
people
suppressor but didn't have to pay for his tax stamp. So what did that federal tax stamp cost? $100, $200, $300, $400. Nate, would you like to know who wins the MeatEater trivia tournament?
No, I want to be. I want to
Okay.
be
You wanna
surprised
be
tomorrow.
surprised. All right. Who do you think is going to win?
I mean, it'd be tough to beat Randall. He's up 3.
Unless you're Nate and you're only 2 behind.
Yeah, but sucks to suck. Didn't make the cut.
Sucks to suck.
Maybe this year. This is the beginning of your journey, Nate, to qualifying for the 2025 MeatEater
Is that?
trivia
Is
tournament.
it based on a year?
Yeah, we're going to go with stats for this whole year. Again, question 1, what does the federal
your mind
tax
right.
stamp cost
Better.
when applying for a suppressor? $100, $200, $300,
This is
or
the
$400?
this is the fresh new season. I've already
That's
forgot
right.
about last year's champion.
Does everyone have an answer?
We're all
Pitching
champions
a perfect
today.
year so far here.
Go ahead and reveal your answers.
Well,
we
let's
have
see.
Nate saying 200, Tressa 200, Cade 200, Randall 200, Collin $100, Janis and Brody say 200. The correct answer is $200. The suppressor tax stamp was introduced in 1934, and surprisingly, it was also $200 then. Their goal was to discourage people from purchasing them, which they accomplished by creating a fee that's the equivalent of $4,800 today. So,
wasn't that also
seems-
the price of machine guns at the time?
Yeah, all NFA.
because it was supposed to be 100% tax.
All class 4, yeah.
that $200 tax
Or
stamp
class 1.
seems steep, but 100 years ago.
Like if you're going to SBR something at home.
I wish that had happened with the price of Latvian summer high school. I remember what it cost because my dad pounded it in my head.
What did it cost?
when I think it was like 6 weeks for like, it was either $1,000 or $1,500
Okay.
20 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And so I was telling Jennifer the other day, I'm like, yeah, no big deal, you know? And then all of a sudden I look at the prices and I'm like, yeah, oh, golly. Summer high school got really expensive.
changed.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I just said something wrong, and I'd like to correct it because
okay.
it's going to bother me.
Go for it.
They're Form 1 and Form 4, but they're Class 3 NFA items. So for those that would write in, please don't.
They've already sent their email, Randall. It's too late.
Randall's
Question
gonna get
2.
himself a nomination for head of ATF here soon.
The topic is conservation, and this next great question is via Colby Parrott. This man was the 38th president and America's only president to work as a national park ranger. The topic is conservation. This man was the 38th president and America's only president to work as a national park ranger. And Colby, I'm not sure if your last name is Perret or Parrott. Shout out for the good question this week. Randall, do you know this one?
I'm working backwards.
Making
here.
a list of presidents. He's the only one doing that right now. This man was the 38th president and America's only president to work as a national park ranger. I don't see any answers yet on the whiteboards. Nate is joining Randall by making a list. Looking for the 38th president. Phil, would you get this one right?
Just by using the Randall method. I did not know that this man was a park ranger.
All right.
This is one of those questions that is going to show my age.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got a birthday that's in the 2000s, Cade.
Post 9/11, man.
Damn. This man was the 38th president and America's only president to work as a national park
What you
ranger.
got written down there, Janis?
What do I, oh, you want to see it?
Do you two agree on your answer, Brody?
No.
No, they have different answers for
But that doesn't
America's
mean I'm
38th
right.
president.
Any means.
Let me see.
Randall, do you have this one right?
I think so.
Okay.
It's kind of an interesting one. Thinking about it correctly, but I could not be. I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see.
Nate, I saw you making a list. How do you feel about your answer?
It's not good.
Okay.
Not great.
All right. Is everybody ready? Go ahead and reveal your answers. We have Nate saying Carter. Tressa says Bush. Cade says Ford. Randall says Nixon. Collin says Teddy Roosevelt. Janis says Hoover.
Wow.
Brody says Carter. The correct answer is Gerald Ford. Cade got that one right. Well done, Cade. Gerald Ford worked at Yellowstone as a park ranger in 1936 at the age of 23. He spent that summer directing traffic, supervising campgrounds, and greeting guests at the Canyon Hotel and Lodge. He said his favorite duty was running the truck that would feed the park's bears. Gerald Ford.
Oh, hell yeah.
Question
Hold
3.
on. We need to figure out where Cade pulled that from.
He was the only one to get it right. Cade,
Trying to
tell us
figure out
about
how
that
I got
answer.
an extra president in there.
You know,
Well, should we work through them here?
Trump,
Did you go-
47, Trump,
You go
and Biden.
Two Trumps.
Trump, Biden, Trump, Obama, Bush, Clinton,
Bush, Carter.
Carter. No, Reagan.
Oh, Reagan.
Reagan,
then
Carter,
then
Ford, Nixon.
So you made it to 37. Sounds
I guess. Did we do that right?
Question 3. The topic is foraging. Porcini and penny bun are nicknames for the king variety of this mushroom. Yanni, quick to answer. Porcini and penny bun are nicknames for the king variety of this mushroom.
Never heard the penny bun one.
But you have heard porcini.
Yeah. Definitely had some questionable feeling stomach situations after eating some of
Bubble
these.
gut.
Okay.
Yeah.
Porcini and penny bun are nicknames for the king variety of this mushroom. Randall, how do you feel about your answer this time?
Not good. Mushrooms are a real weak spot for me.
How about you, Nate?
No. Also bad.
Okay. Cade with the only perfect game so far. Cade's going to earn himself an invite to the 2025 tournament, maybe.
Let's just slow our roll.
I'm always rooting for the youngins, dude. We got it tough out here.
Porcini and penny bun are nicknames for the king variety of this mushroom. Is everybody ready? Randall?
Yes.
Go ahead and reveal your answers. We have Nate saying portobello. Tressa says lion's mane. Cade says truffle. Randall says white. Collin says portobello. Janis and Brody say bolette. They got it. The correct answer is bolette. King bolettes are one of the most common edible mushrooms in the world. They are also one of the biggest. They grow in grassy, forested areas where you'd expect to find chanterelles. The nickname porcini translates to little pigs in Italian, a moniker given to them by the Romans. Question 4. The topic is gear. This brand, which made their first tackle box in 1952 and first bow case in 1995, is named after an Illinois city. This brand, which made their first tackle box in 1952 and first bow case in 1995, is named after an Illinois city. Collin, very quick to answer. Collin, you're from that part of the world, right?
Yeah, but I didn't know that there was a city in Illinois.
Okay. But you think you know this one.
Yeah.
This brand, which made their first tackle box in 1952 and first bow case in 1995, is named after an Illinois city. Yanni, you got this one right?
I've got 2 answers written down. Again, I'm with Collin, and I don't know my Illinois cities that well.
Okay. Randall, do you like your answer?
I do.
Okay. If you don't, though, you could start 1 for 4.
Yeah, I know. I'm grappling with that possibility.
That'd be as bad as me.
I feel pretty good about this one, though.
Okay.
I'm still trying to count. I wrote the numbers down again. I'm trying to figure out how I screwed this up.
Did you come to a different answer this time?
No.
I will Google the list of presidents.
Oh, I think he's got all the presidents. He just can't count.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm struggling with.
Here again, we have 47 Trump, 46 Biden, 45 Trump, 44 Obama, 43 Bush, 42 Clinton, 41 Bush, 40 Reagan, 39 Carter, 38 Ford.
All right. Did you do that again?
All right, here we go. We'll start from 38. 38 was Ford. 37 was Nixon, if that is messing up your list. 39 Carter. 40 Reagan. 41 Bush. 42 Clinton. 43 Bush. 44 Obama. 45 Trump. 46 Biden. 47 Trump.
See, here's what I've done this time.
Okay.
I have 2 lines going to Clinton, so I counted Clinton twice.
Oh.
Because of this corner in my list, I've really made a grave error here just in how I laid out my table.
But you feel good about your answer for the brand that made their first tackle box in 1952 and first bow case in 1995. Is everybody ready? Go ahead and reveal your answers. We have Nate saying Pelican, Tressa, Orvis, Cade, Plano, Randall, Plano, Collin, Plano, Janis, Plano, crossed out Flambeau, Brody, crossed out Plano, and put Flambeau. The correct answer is Plano. Damn it! About half of our players got that one right. Plano makes tackle boxes, bow cases, gun cases, storage trunks, ammo cases, and coolers. They created the world's best-selling tackle box after making a model with collapsible trays in the 1950s. Both of their original factories are still in operation. Flambeau is in Wisconsin, and that's named after the Wisconsin River, the Flambeau River. So,
what was throwing me off is all I could think of was Plano, Texas.
Yeah, that would confuse you. Plano, Illinois is just outside of Chicago, and it was A set location for Man of Steel. Can you picture that, Phil? Have you seen Man of Steel?
Unfortunately, yes.
Oh, was that a bad one?
It's a pretty bad one.
Okay.
It's the one where Kevin Costner gets voluntarily sucked up into a tornado. It's very funny.
Voluntarily?
Voluntarily.
That's like to save the planet or what?
Because, well, Superman has to make a choice, Spencer, to reveal his powers and save his adopted father, or let him get sucked into a tornado. And Kevin Costner puts his hand up and says, "No, son, I will get sucked into this tornado."
In Plano, Illinois, he pulled that off. Question 5. The topic is fishing. Lake Marion, Lake Strom-Thurmond, Lake Moultrie, and Lake Hartwell are the biggest lakes in this state. A tough round for our players to start the 2025 regular season. Lake Marion, Lake Strom-Thurmond, Lake Moultrie, and Lake Hartwell are the biggest lakes in this state. Randall, very quick to answer. Randall, do you know this one?
Do I know any of these answers, Spencer? I've lost all confidence.
Okay.
These mushrooms, these poorly drawn out presidential tables. I think Phil's recounting of that plot twist in Man of Steel is probably the highlight of this game for me so far. So,
me too.
Yanni,
do you have this one right?
I've got a good guess
The
here.
biggest lakes in this state are Lake Marion, Lake Strom-Thurmond, Lake Moultrie, and Lake Hartwell.
I had a lot of good adventures walking around my neighborhood and Latvian summer camp with a good old one of those little Plano tackle boxes. One shelf in it.
I think you can picture exactly tackle box that you're talking about with the foldable trays that really changed things in the 50s for them. Does everybody have an answer?
I think everybody went through the stage where if you sort of neglected it for a little bit and you came back and half the shit in there would be like melted somehow, and you'd kind of had to decide whether you're going to just get a new tackle box.
Or like a little water gets in there and it gets rusty.
You left a little styrofoam cup of night crawlers in there.
Oh, yeah.
And then put it away in the garage for a few months.
Lake Marion, Lake Strom-Thurmond, Lake Moultrie, and Lake Hartwell. Is everybody ready? Go ahead and reveal your answers. We have Nate saying Alabama. Tressa says Kansas. Cade, Minnesota. Randall, South Carolina. Collin, Alabama. Janis, Alabama. Brody, Georgia. We have a correct answer. It's South Carolina.
Oh,
Randall
couldn't
got
remember
that
where
one
he was
right.
from.
Been to those lakes?
No, just on Strom-Thurmond.
Yeah, that's
At
what
110,000 acres, Lake Marion is the 35th biggest lake in America. It reaches across 5 counties, giving it the nickname of South Carolina's Inland Sea. Lake Strom-Thurmond is the country's 48th biggest lake. Lake Moultrie is 55th, and Lake Murray is 68th. And that Lake Strom-Thurmond, it has 2 different names. The federal name is Lake Strom-Thurmond, but then it's on the border of Georgia, South Carolina. Georgia calls it Clark's Hill Lake, I believe. I think with Strom-Thurmond, was he a controversial politician?
Yes.
And the federal level, though, recognizes it as that name. Phil, we're halfway through the game of trivia.
Close.
Give us a scoreboard update.
I don't even know what it's going to say. Oh, wow.
Here we are. Everyone's on the board, but Nate, Tressa, and Collin all have 1 point. Brody Henderson has 2. And then we have a 3-way tie. In first place are Randall, Janis, and our post 9/11 baby Cade.
All right,
they all have
Cade.
3 points, completely skirting the Steve Ranella theory that the older you are, the better you do.
I can smell
What was
overtime
the Shelby
coming.
index on this
4.
one? Oh.
Phil, can we clip that sound effect?
Question 6. The topic is cooking. The New York Times recipe for this condiment combines ketchup, horseradish, lemon juice, hot sauce, and Worcestershire sauce. The New York Times recipe for this condiment combines ketchup, horseradish, lemon juice, hot sauce, and Worcestershire sauce. Randall and Yanni, quick to answer. You boys optimistic about your answer?
I feel pretty good.
Collin, you got this one right?
Yeah, I feel okay. Not that confident, but
I had some strong horseradish this weekend.
What was the occasion?
hot dogs.
The Montana Wild Sheep Foundation banquet. Got a big slab
course.
of prime rib, and there's creamy horseradish, and then there's just the straight stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw a picture of you there. You're looking all fancied up.
Yeah, that's That's my banquet outfit.
Give me a description, Yanni.
His hair was real slick. Looked like his hair had some product in it.
I put about 3 handfuls of grease in my hair,
Horseradish.
slicked it straight back. Got a little cowboy shirt with silver piping. And then you couldn't see it, but my belt buckle, my Cincinnati Bengals belt buckle, was hidden just underneath the table, and I had my Tecovas boots on.
Wow.
Whoa.
Just looking like a goon.
Speaking of, whoever put the Tecovas on the free table, thank you very much.
Oh, were they
this
your
morning.
size, Phil?
My size, brand spiggity new out of the box.
I didn't know you were an
Holy
11.
cow.
Good for you, Phil.
I know.
Your wardrobe needed
been
some
a good
cowboy
day.
boots.
These
I
are
bet
just
those were
some
Ranellas.
classy looking work boots.
Okay.
From Tecova.
Again, the New York Times recipe for this condiment combines ketchup, horseradish, lemon juice, hot sauce, and Worcestershire sauce.
I make it about the same way, and I didn't know.
Do you?
I never thought to look up a recipe.
This is
for
a
it.
very agreed upon recipe. The top recipe from All Recipes, the top recipe from the Food Network. They all basically use.
I have made
these
this and I
ingredients.
cannot remember the name.
Okay. You boys give up yet then? Brody, are you ready?
Sure.
Nate?
Sure.
Go ahead and reveal your answers. We have Nate saying A1. Tressa says aioli. Cade says fry sauce. Randall says cocktail sauce. Collin says fry sauce. Yanni says cocktail sauce. Brody says steak sauce. The correct answer is cocktail sauce. About half of our players got
I just buy
one
that
right.
stuff in a jar.
Cocktail sauce got its name because of how it was served in cocktail glasses during Prohibition. The condiment gained popularity once railroad transportation started moving shrimp across the continent. Besides shrimp, cocktail sauce is sometimes served with oysters, crab, mushrooms, and veggies. Question 7. The topic is conservation, and this next great question is via Ethan Zonbrecker. This oil tycoon has a wildlife refuge in Louisiana named after him, as well as a skyscraper in New York City. This oil tycoon has a wildlife refuge in Louisiana named after him, as well as a skyscraper in New York City. Nate, the quickest to answer. Nate, you got this one right.
Yep.
Brody, do you have this one right?
The way things are going, probably not.
Okay. And Randall, how about you?
Feeling good.
Okay. This oil tycoon has a wildlife refuge in Louisiana named after him, as well as a skyscraper in New York City. Yanni?
I don't believe I know any refuges in Louisiana
Okay.
or
Many oil tycoons?
Or skyscrapers.
skyscrapers.
3-prong.
Do you know any oil tycoons, though? Okay.
I don't think so.
Those 3 ingredients then are going to be tough for you to solve this one if you don't know oil tycoons, Louisiana wildlife refuges, or New York City
I
skyscrapers.
always thought you were more of a steel magnate guy.
The center.
Whenever we're, yeah. Wait.
Oh,
Randall is giving eyes to Nate.
Yeah, I am.
Cade also quick to answer. Cade, do you have a good answer?
I'm bristling.
I'm confident,
Okay.
but not overly confident.
Okay. Yanni, do you give up?
I mean, I should write something down.
As soon as you're done, we're going to flip over the whiteboards. Go ahead and reveal your answers. We've got Nate saying Rockefeller. Tressa says Trump. Cade, Rockefeller. Randall, John Rockefeller. Collin, Rockefeller. Janis says Shell. Brody, Rockefeller. The correct answer is Rockefeller. That's John Rockefeller. Randall had his whole name. John Rockefeller was one of the wealthiest Americans ever. His Rockefeller Foundation donated 86,000 acres of coastal wetlands to the state of Louisiana in 1919. Sportsmen can trap and fish on the refuge. The 30 Rockefeller Plaza in New York is formerly known as the Comcast Building, and it's home to NBC Studios.
I'd like to call for a formal vote of censure against Nate.
What?
Why is
For
that?
saying center.
Carnegie Center.
Oh, you're trying to throw him off.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Question 8.
So you're fine with that?
Would you like to vote on something?
No, we're good.
Okay.
We're good. Let it pass.
Question
You're the one who threw out the steel comment.
8.
Yeah, that was. How would that lead him? All right.
It was the same vein.
The topic is hunting. Legendary hunter Jacques Lafleur is the antagonist in this 1987 comedy about Bigfoot.
Cade, this will be tough for us.
Legendary hunter Jacques Lafleur is the antagonist in this 1987 comedy about Bigfoot. Phil, would you get this one right?
Yes.
Do you have a movie review you can provide us after we reveal the answer?
I have not seen this film since I was probably 6 or 7 years old.
Okay,
So,
well-
I mean, if you want 6-year-old me,
Yes, I do.
man, 2 thumbs way up. Someone passed the Capri Sun. That's
That was perfect.
Oh, man.
Legendary
Witty.
hunter Jacques Lafleur is the antagonist in this 1987 comedy about Bigfoot. Brody, do you have this one right?
We're about to find out.
Yanni, do you have an answer?
I have an answer.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you two think you've
I
seen
only
this
know
movie?
one.
I haven't seen it.
One
Okay.
movie. I believe I like to make jokes
Yeah.
about this movie's title.
Oh,
To
okay.
someone in this room.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, that's a mega tip.
yeah. Let's
right.
move it along.
Is everybody ready? Go ahead and reveal your answers. We have Nate saying Joe Dirt. Tressa says E.T. Cade without an answer. Randall says Harry and the Hendersons. Collin, Jack Links, Janis, and Brody say Harry and the Hendersons. They got it. The correct answer is Harry and the Hendersons. What's your little joke, Yanni, about Brody?
Well,
Brody and the Hendersons?
No, Brody's wife. I mean, yes, but Brody's wife's name
Oh, Carrie.
is Carrie.
Carrie and the Hendersons. That's
I was
very
trying
good.
to figure out who in this
Very
room
good.
had Harry as their real first name or whose name rhymed with Harry. Took me a while.
Harry
Yeah.
the Sasquatch gets hit by the Hendersons' car and is then taken to their Seattle home. The family attempts to protect Harry as he's being tracked by the French-Canadian hunter who's dedicated his life to killing a Bigfoot. The film has a noticeable continuity error when Lafleur's rifle keeps changing from having a 5-round magazine to a 10-round magazine. Phil, we have 2 questions left. Give us a scoreboard update.
Tressa, Nate, Collin, you are no longer in the running for the victory, but we have Cade with 4 points. He's still in it. Brody Henderson has 4 as well. Janis Putelis has 5, and in first place, the big comeback, Randall Williams has 6 points.
Question 9. The topic is public lands. This YouTuber was murdered by her boyfriend in the Bridger Teton National Forest in 2021. Brody has tossed his eraser onto the table. Does not like this question.
Thank you.
Tressa and Randall and Collin
I mean,
do.
is the YouTuber an outdoorsman?
Not giving you any hints. All the information you
Just
need.
wondering, me and Brody are both wondering how this one falls into MeatEater's vertical.
Let me tell you, this YouTuber was murdered by her boyfriend in the Bridger Teton National Forest in 2021. The topic was public land.
Oh,
This
so
YouTuber
because
was murdered in the U.S.
High profile public lands crimes.
Yeah, it was-
I see it.
Sure. That's what it is.
Listen, you two boys are wrong for thinking it's not. This is a great question. This
I like it when you
YouTuber
stand your ground, Spencer.
was
I
murdered by
also
her
frequent
boyfriend.
Rose Hour Supermarket. Is anything that happens in there also going to be a trivia question?
Maybe. I've asked questions about the most popular onion color before. So, sure. This YouTuber was murdered by her boyfriend in the Bridger Teton National Forest in 2021.
this 14 and under soccer team, which won their local championship, went to Rose Hours for fried chicken to celebrate.
And ate their fried chicken in the Bridger Teton National Forest.
There you go.
1-to-1 comparison.
You had a bad question, Yanni, but Brody made it good. This YouTuber was
You guys just
murdered
had
by
your
her
softball question.
I don't need to write
in the
anything
Bridger
down.
Teton National Forest in 2021. This may separate Randall from the rest of the pack. Is everybody ready? Go ahead and reveal your answers. We have Nate saying Jamie. Tressa says Gabby Petito. Cade without an answer. Randall and Collin say Gabby Petito. Yanni and Brody without an answer. The correct answer is Gabby Petito. Gabby and her boyfriend Brian Laundrie were aspiring van life influencers. Laundrie strangled Petito near a campground just outside of the Grand Teton National Park in August of 2021. Laundrie then fled to his parents' house in Florida and killed himself at the Carlton Reserve a month after the murder. This was all over the news. They even made a Netflix documentary. They talked about
I love how you think that because there was a Netflix documentary, it's like that somehow like gives it like a thing where
this was one of the biggest stories of 2021.
Really
I get it.
story,
I get it. But
I want to know if they got it because of the Netflix documentary or if they got it because they already knew about it.
Netflix for sure.
Okay.
I think it just came out.
I haven't
like,
watched the Netflix documentary, but I wouldn't have had I remembered the case. I didn't pay that much attention to it as it was happening, but the name stuck with me.
How about you, Tressa?
I followed the whole thing.
Me too.
I know someone who was sitting next to Brian Laundrie getting a beer around the time that it happened.
Wow. All right, here's the correct
the
answer.
People in this that got it right would have gotten it right without the Bridger Teton National Forest thing. Like I don't like. I think they would just known that.
100%.
Sure, but what's your point?
Had nothing to do with the
I
question.
don't know.
Listen,
I don't think I would have got it.
Except it happened there. That's right. So that's how it
Are
made
you
it a
boys
MeatEater
new to
thing.
MeatEater trivia or what? The question before this was about Harry and the Hendersons.
Yeah, you guys had your softball question. That was ours.
All right, here's a correct answer review so far. 1 was $200. 2 was Gerald Ford. 3, Bolette. 4, Plano. 5, South Carolina. 6, cocktail sauce. 7, John Rockefeller. 8, Harry and the Hendersons. 9, Gabby Petito. Phil, give us one last scoreboard update.
Yeah. What question was that? That was 9,
That was
right?
question 9.
Well, Randall Williams is too far ahead. No one can catch up. He's got 7 points, but behind him are Janis with 5, Brody and Cade have 4, Collin has 3, Nate and Tressa have 2.
The overtime drought continues.
Guys, I thought we'd agreed to just have an overtime game.
Here's question 10.
You're
The
in
topic
control of
is
that, Randall.
wildlife. This is our
Not
listener
anymore.
question of the week, which was won by Josh Serp for sending this great question. Josh is going to get a board game signed by the crew. If you want a chance to win the listener question of the week, then send your question to trivia@themeateater.com. What is the most common state insect in America? What is the most common state insect in America? You need to be specific. If you thought the answer was a black lab, you need to say black lab. You can't just put Labrador. What is the most common state insect in America? Randall running away with the victory. We'll see if he can hit the Shelby index of 8.
I just
on this
decided
final
on
question.
an insect.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't want to give it any more thought.
No, there's really no point, and I couldn't name a single state insect, actually.
Not in any of the states you've ever lived. You don't know what their state insect was.
Nope.
What is
See,
the most
I didn't even know there
common
was
state
state
insect in America?
Yeah,
I think
I-
there's only 2 states that don't have a state insect.
I think
so.
the Gabby Petito question is more relevant to my engagement with the world of the great outdoors than state insects.
Yeah, I agree. Is everybody ready? Go ahead and reveal your answers. We've got Nate saying monarch butterfly. Tressa says mosquito. Cade,
good answer.
dragonfly. Randall, monarch butterfly. Collin, red ladybug. Janis, monarch butterfly. Brody, monarch butterfly. Nobody got it. The correct answer is the honeybee.
Oh.
There are 19 states that list the European honeybee as their state insect or state agricultural insect. The second most popular state insect is the monarch butterfly and ladybug, which represents 7 states, and the eastern tiger swallowtail, which represents 6 states.
You know, I take back what I said. The honeybee is Utah, right?
Probably one of the 19 states is my guess.
Yeah, I do know a state insect.
All right, Randall is the winner with 7 correct answers. Even if we throw out that bad Gabby Petito question, you still dominated these boys. Where is the $500 going to go today, Randall?
Let's give it to the National Wild Turkey Federation.
NWTF. Are you fixing to kill a turkey this year?
My first.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have plans?
No. But I'm just throwing that out there into the universe. I'm seeding that.
Now it's not going to happen.
Yeah. So I thought I'd, try to get some karma from the turkey gods.
You've probably never donated to them before, I'm guessing, either.
Well, I have on certain occasions when it's like one of the, but yeah, let's just do that. And,
$500.
Everybody around here is getting
NWTF.
excited for turkey season. Let's just get
Including Randall.
Yeah, let's get it hyped.
Okay. Well done, Randall. 7 correct answers to win the first regular season game of MeatEater Trivia in 2025. Join us next week for more MeatEater Trivia, the only game show where conservation always wins.
Yeah, Spencer from South Dakota, he's the host. Using those smooth, mellow tones, he lays them questions down. And he likes taking those 2- and 3-year-old bucks. And he's an avid amateur rock hound.
Oh.